Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to class. I am Jayme with American Power Yoga, and I'll be teaching you through your class today. Today, we have Leo. She's one of our instructors at the studio. And over here is one of my good friends, MJ. Leo's my good friend, too. But MJ's also my good friend. Anyways, we'll go ahead and get started. So we're going to lay on our backs, all right? So we're just going to cruise down. And if you want to keep sometimes that low back kind of gets a little bit stiff, so if you want to bend your knees and keep your feet flat, you can let the knees kind of fold in so they can relax. But if you also want to butterfly the knees open, you can also do that as well. All right, and then Leo has kind of stiff hips, so she may not want to do that. That may not be comfortable for her. But you'll take one hand at your low belly and one hand on your chest, and just take a few moments to really kind of set that breath up. So with those inhales, try to allow the inhale to come all the way down to the lowest part of your belly. You can feel your bottom hand kind of rise up. And when you exhale, feel your bottom hand sort of fold and get lower and lower down towards the ground. And just sort of connect to that wave of your breath. When you exhale, you're looking to exhale all of the air pockets out of your body. And I know when you're practicing at home, you're going to have a tendency to want to look up at the screen to kind of see what we're doing. I'm going to walk you through every single step, where to put your hands, where to put your feet, how to do the twisting, how to do every single movement. So the best thing to do actually is to close your eyes if you ever feel comfortable. And just listen to me as I walk you through all the postures. And it also helps to kind of open up that sensory to be able to feel more. Yoga is a practice of feeling. It's not a practice of thinking or trying really hard to do something. It's about feeling our bodies, feeling the flow of inhales and exhales, how the in-breath influences our minds, how it helps to calm our bodies down, even though we're challenging our bodies and finding some shakiness. And so when you ever start to notice that your breath gets a little bit choppy, I'll give you ways to modify and kind of back off the posture. But if you're noticing that your breathing is fluid and maybe the pose is challenging, but you're almost bored, then I'll give you ways to intensify it. Every single day your practice is going to be a little bit different. Some days you need to heal and stretch. Some days you need to kind of amp things up. It's been a little bit too comfortable. So just kind of feel like you're filling in the gaps. All right, so once you kind of feel natural, just bend your knees, and so you'll keep your feet flat. Take your hands beside your hips, and just windshield wiper your legs side to side. So let your knees just kind of fold right, fold left, and start to wake up that lowest part of your vertebrae here. And then when that feels like you're kind of moving it around, it's not as stiff, bring your knees in towards your chest, and you can give yourself a nice little hug. Draw your chin towards your chest. And you may want to rock a little bit right and left and continue to massage that low back out. Right there at the low back, you got a lot of psychic nerves, so a lot of energy is kind of formulated from that space. So it can help to energize you some more. And then rock up and down your spine. So keep your chin kind of tucked in and round that back out and just roll up into a seated position. So you'll find your way into probably a cross-legged position to kind of start out. Take your hands to the center line of your heart, and then inhale as you reach your arms up. As you exhale, brush the right side of the room and take a long side body stretch here. And now as you inhale, bring your arms all the way to the sky. And then exhale, taking it over to the left side. And again, feel that right side body opening up. Inhaling, and we'll lift. As you exhale, I want you to take your left hand towards the front right corner of your mat. And so feel that right hand coming down beside you, yeah. And just feel the crown of your head sort of reaching towards that front right corner. You're going to breathe really deep into the left side of your rib cage, opening up the left rib, feeling maybe even down into the lowest part of your back. And now let's inhale, bring it back up to center. So bring your arms all the way to the sky. And then exhaling, let's just bring that right hand towards the left top corner of our mat. And let your torso just relax. Let your neck relax as your head's between your arms, right in the inside of that arm. Very nice. Breathe deep into the lowest part of your back, and you'll feel the muscles kind of responding from that space. Now, as you take your in-breath, we'll come back to center, so bring your arms all the way high, and now take the hands behind you, so just kind of a little bit towards, so turn your fingertips either to behind you, or they can come forward, but push the ground away. Lift up through the center of your chest here. Kind of open up the front of that heart. Another great way to get your energy to kind of start to move around, change your mood, is to just open your heart center. And we're from here, we'll just release those hands. Let's come forward to all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. All right, so once you're here, the middle fingers are going to face forward. You want to get really big hands on the ground. Now, there's a tendency to let the fingers kind of buckle off the floor, where you put a ton of weight there into the wrists. And so what Leah's going to do is make like starfish with her hands and anchor down to the index fingers and her thumbs, which will feel the shoulders getting longer and stronger. So then inhale, she's going to arch her back. So her heart and tailbone's going to lift up. And as she exhales, she's going to round her spine, using the strength of the core to really lengthen out. Inhales again, arching out, full breath to the waistline. And then exhales, strong core muscles, rounding it out, really feeling that sway back, get a good stretch. Inhales, arch her back, and she'll tuck her toes. And now let's exhale, straighten out the legs and bring the hips up towards the sky. All right, so the main thing we're looking for in our down dogs is a flat back. But since this is the first one of the day, don't worry so much about the flat back. Start for a moment with just bending the knees and pressing your opposite heel flat. So what she'll do is walk the dog, and she'll start to wake up the feet and the ankles and the toes. You know, she can, most of the time of that first down dog, you kind of fidget around to kind of feel out what's going on. I like to say you're looking for your hitches, right? And she's kind of dancing around. It's kind of at your own pace there. So as you take an inhale, we're going to rise to our toes and then bend the knees. And now exhale, step your feet all the way up to the top of your mat. So as she's kind of reaching up to the top of her mat, so let's actually bring our feet to the outside of the mat. So just kind of get a nice wide-legged stance, all right? And then from here, you can just take a moment to maybe bend your knees. You want to feel the draping at the hip line. So if the hamstrings are super tight, bend the knees like a lot, and you'll feel your torso draping like a rag doll mainly. The head's hanging loose, so you might move your head yes and move it no. You can move your hips, you know, like Leo's kind of shifting around and letting the hips kind of sway right and left. Again, you're looking for what's going on, you know? Is it the typical hitches that are there with you every single day? Or there's some new ones? Did you add some new things to your workout? Or maybe you did a lot of yard work or whatever. You might start to feel the low back and hamstrings responding to you. So just just feel it. As you take an in-breath, let's lengthen about halfway for space. And now exhale, let's bend our knees. Point your tailbone towards the back of the room. So the tailbone is reaching back, the elbows anchor them into your inner thighs, and just feel your inner thighs wake up. This is going to open the chest. You can start to gaze a little bit forward here so you can keep your back flat. You can take your peace fingers around your big toes. If you're pretty flexible, you might actually engage your arms to pull your torso lower towards the ground. But try to keep your torso parallel with the floor. And then from here, we're going to straighten out our legs and pigeon toe the feet in. Once again, hanging loose upside down. Take an in-breath for space. And we'll exhale, fold to our legs, easy stretch. Roll your body up one vertebrae at a time, slow and steady. Okay, so the last thing to lift is the head. We're going to throw the shoulders up and then let the shoulders relax. Inhales, bring your arms all the way out and then up. With an exhale, bend your knees to a low squat. Brush the outsides of the room. Make a circle with the arms. So reach them in and lift. And you'll exhale. Find the end of the breath. So your pacing might be slower than mine. It might be faster than mine. The object of the game here is just to feel your body moving as you inhale, your rising, full inhales, and your complete exhalations at the bottom of the squat. And so here's how you set up this great foundation for your entire yoga practice is connecting the breathing with your movement, connecting the breathing with your body, feeling the muscles respond without you having to tell it to. You just kind of direct it where you want to go. All right, so we'll inhale as we rise. Pigeon toe your feet in. Let's stay tall. Bring the hands behind the back and interlace your fingers. With an inhale, shoulders pull down. Let your heart center lift. All right, now exhales, bow forward and let the hands drape around. So heel the hands can close in if it's kind of tight. If it's really tight, you might want to grab your elbows. You can kind of grab opposite elbows, and Leo will kind of show that here. Yeah, and then if you feel the shoulders tight, that'll kind of loosen up a little bit more. So with that in-breath, let's lengthen about halfway for space. And now exhales, release your hands down to the ground and take a forward fold. Inhales, we'll get space here. And now exhales, plant your palms and step your feet back to an upper push-up. All right, so in that upper push-up, what we're looking for is the shoulders to be just over the wrists here. And again, she's got those big hands on the ground. Tendency to kind of jack the hips up like you're pitching a tent, right? We're going to keep the body flat. Now, Leo, she can always lower the knees if you feel like your breath got choppy. But if she doesn't want to, and Leo's super strong, she's going to keep her legs straight. If she keeps the legs straight, she's going to press her heels towards the back of the mat. Last thing, gaze a little bit forward. Your neck is an extension of your spine, so kind of gaze a little out to the top of your mat. With an inhale, come forward to the very tips of your toes, then bend your elbows 90 degrees. Her elbows are tucked in super tight. Then she'll inhale, scoop forward. All right, we're going to pause here. Now, a lot of times we just collapse into the shoulders, and it puts tons of pressure into that low back. So Leah's going to engage her legs, lift out of her waistline, and press the mat away so she's nice and long off those shoulders. Now, with an inhale, feel the shoulder blades pull together, and now exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips all the way up towards the sky. All right, for that second down dog here, now start to try to get the back flat. Your hamstrings, they're still warming up. So if you know you have tight hamstrings, bend your knees so that you can feel the shoulders pulling back. You should be able to look under your arm. A lot of times I see this, come forward for me, and the head's almost passed in front of the shoulders. So what she'll do is press the hands into the ground, and that's going to lift the hips, and it'll pull the shoulders back so they're more flat. And the bending of the knees really helps out a lot. So with that inhale, we'll rise to our toes, then bend the knees. Exhale, step or float your feet to the top of your mat. Bring your feet together. Lengthen on your inhale, and now fold over as you exhale. Let's rise on that breath. Reach your arms out and lift. You might want to get a lean back. And now exhales, bow forward and take your hinge down. Inhaling, getting longer here. Exhales, plant your palms and step back, up or push up. Inhale, so you're going to shift forward. And now exhales, bend the elbows 90 degrees. And then feel the strength of the legs, pulling your heart center up to your up dog. Yeah, there you go. And then as you get your exhale, we'll tuck the toes and lift the hips back up towards the sky. One more flow. Inhales, rise the toes, bend your knees. And now exhale, step or float the feet all the way to the top. Lengthen on that in-breath. And now fold and hang loose on your out-breath. Rise to standing. Try to reach out and lift. You might lean back and then bow forward, and we'll come all the way down. Inhaling, getting longer. Now lower the hands and walk your left foot back. So let's stay in the ball of our left foot. So the chest and heart is pulling forward. Now, a lot of times the front heel kind of hovers off the ground. So what we're going to do is inch the foot up so the heel is flat. Take the hands on the inside of your knee and heel toe your right foot a little out to the side, right? Now, walk your hands to the left. Eventually, you might notice your hips kind of bump right. We're going to try to keep the hips reaching straight behind us and a little walk to that left here. Make your hands big on the ground. Actually, widen your hands. Take an in-breath here. And now exhales, bend your elbows. Inhale, straighten your arms. Exhales, bend the elbows. Inhales again, straight arms. Exhales, bend those elbows. And now when you get an inhale, lift your right arm up. And so look up towards the ceiling. Ground down through your left hand. Engage your left glute. And we'll reach up on that inhale. And now exhales. Take the hand to the floor. Get one more low push-up. And now walk your hands over to your right foot. Okay, so take an inhale. Get long. And now exhale. Use your core to bring your right leg up towards the sky. There you go. Okay, so a lot of times here, you can kind of go to your natural space. If you want to keep your hips leveled off, but sometimes you might want to roll the right hip up a little bit over your left. If that feels good, feels kind of stiff. Oh, you got a little pop there with MJ. You can feel that difference there as your hip opens up. Keep the heel flexed though and the legs straight just for a few moments to keep some heat going. With an inhale, MJ's going to try to lift the heel a little higher. There you go. Exhales, right foot up between your hands and then stay on the ball of our back foot. Rise up on your inhale, arms reach out and lift all the way towards the sky, and we'll exhale, loosen down into the shoulders. Okay, so the main thing here is the shoulders relax, the tops of the shoulders. But what we'll actually do is bring the shoulder blades together and then press them down. So you'll notice there's the lats start to kind of become more involved and more stable. On exhalations, the two lower ribs are pulling into your core muscles and towards your organs. And so every inhale, you're softening, and every exhale, you're engaging. If it gets a little bit too much, all you do is drop down to that back knee, okay? And you'll feel some pressure come off. And so you can know where to breathe through this and actually enjoy it instead of cussing me out in your head, hopefully, or maybe hopefully not at the TV screen. Okay, so as you take an inhale, feel that right arm, just the arms reach all the way up. And we'll exhale, draw the hands down to the ground. Straighten your right leg, okay? And again, you've got like 45 minutes to the rest of class to get your right leg to straighten. But in all actuality, you have like your entire lifetime to get your right leg to straighten. So no rush here. Feel the exhalations opening it up slowly. When you inhale, walk your hands up and then lift up your left toes. It doesn't really matter how high the left foot is. But we'll try to do this. We're going to look at our left toes, okay? We're going to point our pinky toe down, just like Leo's got. And what it does is it makes the hips go flat. Then she can really feel this right glute kind of working for her. Take an inhale, lift that left foot, and now exhales, lower your left foot to the ground, next to your right. Bring your feet together. Inhales, halfway lengthening, and now exhales, folding down to your legs. Rising on your inhales, reach your arms all the way high. Now let's bend our knees into a chair. And so feel the weight in your heels. Softness just a little bit into the toes. You can spread them. With your inhale, let the arms reach up. We're going to exhale, open to the right side of the room. So you got your right hand behind you and your left hand forward. And then from here, we're going to make a diagonal. So your left hand down and your right arm up. Just making like a diagonal with the arm. Yeah. Then take your left hand on the outside of your right thigh. Yeah, so take that, and you can just a little mini twist, right? And so what MJ will do is use his arm as a leverage in order to twist. You can see that his knees are still even. A lot of times the left knee comes in front of the right, and we want to try to keep the left knee even with the right so he gets the most benefit from that twist. So take one good breath of that waistline. Try to make it a big breath. And now exhales, use your core to twist. Nice. Hands to heart. Let's inhales, rise up, straighten your legs and reach. And we'll exhale, bow forward and take it to the ground. Inhaling, getting longer. Exhales, hands down with your right foot walking back. So we'll stay in the ball, that right foot. So you got your heel down, okay? So if you need to scoot your right foot, or your left foot up to kind of get that heel down, you can. Walk your hands to the inside of the foot and heel toe it out wide. Then walk your hands to the right. Right when you feel the hips bump to the side, back off. Keep the hips squared and straight behind you and take big hands and wide arms on the ground. Inhale, let's get long. Exhales, bend your elbows 90 degrees. Inhale, straight arms, really feel it. And now exhales, lower, slow. If you're trembling, your body's getting stronger. Know that. Inhale. And then we'll exhale, come all the way back down. Now on this inhale, lift your left arm up. And as you look up towards the ceiling, make your right glute active and feel the chest rolling open here. Try to get the energy to flow again. Inhales the left arm to sky. Exhales the left hand to the ground. Get one more push up. And then cruise your hands over to your left foot. Take on your inhale. And when you exhale, use your core to float that left leg all the way up towards the sky. So as you're here, you can decide, do you want to stack the hips or do you want to keep them leveled off? Where the power of the pose is going to come from is from making a foundation through the hands. So the hands are going to push into the floor, which is going to add strength going all the way up the body. Inhales, lift your left foot, and now exhales, the left foot up between your hands, stay on the ball of your back foot. Let's rise on an inhale, arms out, and lift up towards the sky. And then feel the shoulders starting to relax here. So crescent lunge. Now, let's go with the basics of the lunge here. Basically, so a lot of times this knee wants to cave in or it caves out. We're going to keep the knee just over the little toe side. So when you look down, you'll be able to see that knee is just over that little toe. Right? The back foot defines the intensity. So if you ever want to walk the back foot back to feel more, walk it back. Just make sure your right glute's kind of still engaged on purpose. A little too much, walk it up. You can also take that back knee all the way down to the floor, and that will really kind of get you back into the moment if you're starting to lose sort of that mental practice, the mental benefits here. So with that inhale, feel the long arms reach up, and we'll exhale, take the hands down to the floor, and all we'll do is straighten out the left leg, right? And she's going to let the head hang loose, so real soft neck. And we can always keep a little bit of a bend to that left knee if it's a little too tight. And so with your next inhale, walk your hands up and then lift your right toes all the way up towards the sky. All right. So everyone's got nice flat hips. The thing is, what happens, it's no big deal if your hip floats out. If you look at the right toe and you notice the toe is pointing out to the side, all it does is it doesn't make the left glute work as hard. So when you square the hips off, you feel it, right? It's a little bit different. Sorry, I just patted your bed there, MJ. And then you'll lift your right foot and then lower the right foot down to the ground. Bring your feet together. Lengthen on your inhale. And then exhale, bend your knees right into your chair. Reach your arms all the way to the sky. And we'll exhale, we're going to open up to the left side. So left hand behind you, right hand forward. We're going to make that diagonal. So right hand points down, left hand points up. And then take the right hand on the outside of your thigh and then a little mini twist. In my opinion, this is one of the main reasons why yogis stay pretty healthy, is because we do a lot of twists, and we're always sort of massaging and stimulating our digestive system. So with every inhale, try to pump as much air as you can in your waistline. And then when you exhale, use your core strength to kind of envelope your lungs and push the air out. And so you almost feel like you're getting the massage there, making that digestive system work really strong all the time. So when you take an inhale, straighten your legs, reach your hands all the way to the sky. And you'll exhale, swan dive, and we'll fold. Inhale, we'll all get a little space. And I'll exhale, plant your palms and step back, upward push up. Feel the arms strong. Take the knees if they're not, but come forward on your inhale. Lower slow with your exhale. 3, 2, 1. And then feel the heart center draw you up through the legs. Use your core to lift your hips back up to the sky. Nice. Lift your right leg all the way to the sky here. Exhales, right foot up between your hands. Let's lower down the left heel and cartwheel your left arm forward, up and around. So here we go in that warrior 2. So same rules apply in that crescent lunge with that front knee. We want to keep the knee over the little toe side. If it wants to cave in, it's probably this inner thigh that's a little bit tight. So what we'll do is walk the back foot in, and that'll give you the flexibility to keep the knee out on that side here. The arms, you're going to reach wide. Same thing here. The shoulder blades are coming together and they're pressing down. So it's not like reaction tightness in the shoulders. It's stability with the lats that are keeping the arms wide. You'll feel your wingspan of your arms reach further apart. So with that next breath, lift your right arm all the way to the sky. And now exhaling, right arm down with your left arm reaching its way to the ceiling. All right. So you're opening up the left side of your chest. Sometimes we kind of do this. We feel this left arm kind of fall back. What we'll do is kind of turn this corner and try to reach the back nice and long. You'll notice MJ's not hanging out on his shoulder, but he's pressing off the knee. So there's a lot of space between the torso and the knee. And then maybe he'll start to reach your left arm over his head. Right? If it's easy on this side, he might float this bottom arm forward and really ask a lot of that core strength to hold himself up. As we do that, though, there's a foundation, right? We always want to feel the foundation stronger as we move on. So ground down through your back foot and feel your breathing bigger. If the pose gets more challenging and more intense, then we keep the inhale and the exhale more fluid, more intense, bigger. Maybe it gets louder, all right? And that kind of helps to keep that nice balance between intensity and softness, calmness, and a little bit of shakiness. All right, so let's take a deep breath. Let's inhale, rise up, straighten the right leg, lift up. Exhale, let's begin to stretch it back. So here we go. Inhale, reach. This time, bring your left arm up and around. Take the hand at the inside of your front foot. You may want to walk your back foot in like a couple inches. Scoop the right arm forward and windmill it up towards the sky. So even here, same thing. Leo's going to do is try to press down to the ground and open up this shoulder and chest. He's going to get a big stretch into the hip. All right, so with an inhale, feel the right arm reach its way up towards the sky. Exhale, hand to the floor and straighten out the front leg. Maybe it gets straighter, the second or third fold here. You may need to walk your hands up the shin, to kind of back off. Inhaling, walk the hands, make that tripod, lift your left toes. Once more. Can you lose the tension in your neck? Can you move it? Yes and no. Can you take your right hand to your shin or your ankle? Can you take your left hand to the shin or the ankle? Can you find a shaky right leg? But know that all it is just another challenge, and you face them every single day. But what do we do about it? We can either freak out and run away, or we can stick it and breathe and keep the calmness. As you lower the hands to the ground, inhale to let your left toes reach up. And now exhale to lower your left foot to the ground. Awesome job. Inhale to lengthen halfway. And now fold to your longest stretch, which you feel really good about now. Rising on your inhales, bring your arms all the way up towards the sky. And we'll exhale, bow forward, take the hinge. With an inhale, lengthen your body. And now hands are coming down. We're going to walk our right foot back again. So stay in the ball of this right foot. So left hand back to the inside of the foot. Heel toe your left foot a little bit wide. And now walk your hands over to the right. So, you might go a little further this time. And then this time, reach your left hand up towards the ceiling and feel the chest rotating open. And now we're going to lower the right knee all the way. So the feeling of this top of the right hip gets a little lower. It gets a nice hip flexor stretch. You might want to bend your back knee and catch the foot with your left hand, and you can feel a nice big quad stretch going on. So you can see here that it's this left side of the chest connecting to the right hip flex and the right thigh that's really kind of opening it up. You can feel the spine getting longer and longer. That's it. Feeling you kind of get some space. If you're feeling tight, you'll do what Leo's doing. You'll just keep that back knee, the back foot on the floor, and all she's doing is letting the hip get a little lower as she's spinning the chest more and more open. So everyone's in a spot. Your only job is to feel. Your only job is to breathe. Other than that, everything's doing great. So from here, let's take that left hand back to the ground. We're going to release the hands to the floor and take your inhale. And now use your core to bring your left leg all the way up towards the sky. Oh, and walk your hands back. Sorry about that. So that might be kind of an awkward down dog, right? As you inhale, feel your left foot reach up. And now exhale as the left foot up between the hands and then lower down your right heel. Cartwheel your right arm forward, up, and then around. Okay, and so just stare out over your left middle finger as you set your warrior two in place. We call our focal point in yoga a drishti, and to me it just means that the focal point is so intense that your peripheral vision almost goes away. It gets kind of fuzzy. And so you're able to keep that focus more because there's a million things going on all the time. And if you're in your home, and if it looks like mine, and every time I practice at home, I start looking around all the projects I should be doing instead of being on my mat. But we all know that if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of anything that's around us. We can't take care of our pets, our family, our friends, our kids. So take that time, get your drishti, get your focus, let everything melt away. And with an inhale, bring your left arm all the way to the sky. And now stretch back. Feel the stretch on your inhale. Exhale the left arm down with your right arm all the way up towards the sky. And she'll feel she's anchored down through this back leg. It gets a lot of space. If she wants to, she can take that top arm over the head. And if it still feels good, she can float the bottom arm. Maybe you notice there's some differences from side to side. Like one side, it's real easy to intensify. Sometimes it's a little harder. Take your time. Try to keep the breath strong. Feel the right foundation. All right, and so as you take your next inhale, let's straighten out that left leg, rise up to the sky, and now stretch back. And with your inhale, reach it back. Let's bend the left knee. Right arm comes up and around. Ground the hand at the inside of your front foot. Walk your back foot in a bit. Scoop your left arm forward and windmill all the way up towards the sky. So back heel down, chest long, and then exhale right from the waistline, right from enveloping the lungs, pushing the air out. And then take your left hand all the way to the floor here, and let's straighten out the left leg. And know that if you need to make adjustments, walk the back foot in, walk your hands up the shin. But can you feel like you're letting go here from the torso? You feel a balance of strong legs and a feeling of balance of a soft, heavy, weighty back. Feel energy just traveling down your spine, off your neck, and off the crown of your head. When you take your inhale, walk your hands up, and now lift your right toes all the way up towards the sky. And so now engage. Fan your left toes out, push your foot through the ground, and then just see if you can challenge it. Take your left hand to your shin, and then maybe take your right hand to the shin. Look, no hands, Mom. You got it? Take your time. You can play with it too. You fall. Sometimes you're going to fall. We're always going to fall, right? You get back up again and you laugh about it. And you don't make that ego kind of get in the way, think that you failed, because you haven't. You're just trying. So you point yourself where you want to go. You want to get stronger? Go and just float that bottom leg up, that right leg a little higher. Reach up on an inhale, lower the right foot all the way down. Bring your feet together. Inhales, lengthen the body a little bit more space. Exhales, hands coming down. Walk your left foot back. So let's stay on the ball of the left foot again. Feel the chest and heart pull forward. Right hand at the inside of the foot and heel toe it a little bit wide. Walk your hands over to the left. Make wide hands on the ground and reach this right arm all the way up. Feels kind of nice right through here. And now lower your left knee all the way. And if you feel it, if you want to grab that foot, just grab that foot with your right hand. And the thing is, if you don't want to grab the foot, it's no big deal. Just keep the back foot on the floor and feel the hips getting a little bit lower. But the space from your right shoulder and your left hip is pulling apart. It's getting longer and longer apart. Feel yourself moving into that space when you exhale, preparing on your inhales, moving in on exhales. Beautiful job. Let's release this foot. Take your hands back down to the inside of the foot. With your inhale, get long. And now exhales, use your core to float the right leg back up towards the sky. Let's get a flow here. Inhales, lift the right leg up. Exhales, right foot up between your hands. Lower down your left heel. Float up on an inhale. Reach your arms all the way high. Exhales, bow forward. Plant your hands. Right steps back. Inhales, lengthen here. Exhales, elbows bend 90. Inhale, scoop your chest and heart long here. And now exhales, maybe you roll over your toes, feeling the strength of your core. Left leg up on your inhale. Exhales, left foot up between your hands. Right heel down. Float up on your in-breath. Reach for the sky. Exhaling, swan diving. Plant your hands. Left foot walks back. Inhales, let's come forward. Let's come all the way to the floor here. Okay, so once you find the floor, take your thumbs just underneath your chest. All right, and then from here, you'll notice for a moment that your legs stay very strong. You're going to point her toes towards the back of the room. On an inhale, she's going to get a big belly full of air. And she's going to lift a baby cobra pose, okay? So the chest lifts, a little bit, not all the way. But as you can notice here that the shoulders are still pressed down the back. The elbows are still in really tight. And with an inhale, lift like 1 inch and then lower your chest. We do that 3 more times. So inhales, lift up, keeping the legs still active. And you'll exhale, get low. Inhales, reach up. Maybe feel that back opening some more. And exhales, lower. Nice. Inhales again, reach up that chest. And exhales, come all the way down. Nice. Inhales, press to hands and knees. And so you'll feel the hands lift and then press to your child's pose. Hips towards the heels, hairline to the mat or towards the mat. The hips don't have to touch the heels. They'll get there in time. The main thing here is you're resting. You've done a whole lot of work for the last like 35 minutes or so. And so here you're letting your body respond. And you can keep making it active. You can keep reaching your fingertips forward, feeling the shoulders get a little bit of a stretch. Breathe down deep in the lowest part of your back. Sway back, folks, is going to feel really good to release some pressure here. All right, and then flip the palms up, drop your head, and roll your body up 1 vertebrae at a time. So you get a nice little back stretch while you're there. So let's cross our ankles. Take the hands right beside you and take an inhale for space. And now exhales, press your hands into the ground. You're going to use your core to see if you can float your legs up and maybe hover them. Don't lower yet. And then slowly lower down. Just joking. Shake your knees out. If you want to take your hands, sometimes I'll kind of massage my thighs with the heel of the hand if that feels good. So press down through your legs. Okay, take the hands to heart and you reach up on your inhale. And now exhales, begin to fold it forward. Grab wherever you can, legs, shins, ankles, maybe your feet. The tendency here is to round our back. So on an inhale, though, I want you to round your back. Bring your chin towards your chest. When you exhale, make your arms strong and pull your back flat. Do that 2 more times. Inhaling, rounding. You're going to feel your breath get full, but it's going to be a little restricted. And now exhaling, pull the back flatter here. 1 more time for me. Inhales again, rounding the back. And exhaling, pulling the back flat. There's a forward fold. Back flat, legs strong. Inhales, bring your arms out all the way up. Exhaling, hands take the hands all the way back behind you. Hands take the floor. Turn your fingertips around towards the backs of your mats here. All right, so a little fish pose. We're going to start to open up the front of our chest. So push down your legs. Roll the shoulder blades down your back. Feel the upper part of your back start to arch, all right? You're going to feel a nice stretch going around your bicep area, into your shoulder joint, and even there across your chest. And so feel your gaze point kind of go up a little bit. Now let's take it down to our elbows. Bring the fingertips, maybe turn the fingertips forward. Maybe kind of hook the fingers around your hips. Push the legs into the ground. Puff your chest up here. And you're trying to catch and trying to feel that your neck is in line with your spine again. So you can see how MJ doesn't have his neck cranked back. He's feeling the neck right with the spine. If it feels good, if he can get that arch, he might let the head fall back even further. But with a tendency, sometimes we're quick just to let that head fall back. Feel the spine nice and long, push down and lift the chest up. Inhale, now lift up like 1 more inch and then slowly bring the chin to the chest. Let's come all the way down to our backs. So as you come down to the backs, bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little bit of a bear hug. You may want to kind of bring your chin in, kind of tie it and rock a little bit side to side, right and left. All right, and then take the shoulders down. Take your back down, your arms wide, legs straight up towards the ceiling. So right at that point, we're going to take an inhale. She's going to lift the legs. Then exhale, she's going to press the navel towards the floor, really engaging the core. With an inhale, feel the legs lift a little higher. Once again, as you exhale, feel the toes reach up higher. Now on an inhale, lower the legs forward. Keep the legs hovering just a little bit off the ground. Yeah, a little lower, lower. Yeah, you go. Now exhales, lift up. Lift the legs all the way high. Now with an inhale, again, you can lower those legs down, so full breath. And with an exhale, lift your legs. Maybe lift your arms too. You can reach your fingertips towards the toes. Now inhaling again, you can reach back. And an exhale, lift up. Now Leo's lifting her head off the floor, which is making it a little bit stronger, a little harder. Inhaling again, strong bodies open up there. And we'll exhale again. Use your core. Push the sway back into the ground so you can feel it. One more time. Inhale is a long stretch. And now exhaling, strong cores pull us up. This time, take your arms out wide, shoulder level here. And with the inhale, feel the legs reach up. Exhale, so lower the legs to the right. Okay, so feel your left shoulder is on the ground. You're going to get the biggest twist through there. Inhaling, lifting your legs. And we're going to exhale, come over to that left side. I'll move out of your way. You can bend your knees to modify this if you want to, but inhales will lift all the way up. And then exhaling, taking it over to the right side, left shoulder down, nice. Inhales, rise to the sky. And exhale over to that left side, nice. MJ's shaking a little bit. He's still trucking though. Inhales, reaching up. And exhales, last time to that right side. You can do this. It's the last one. Inhales, reaching up. And exhales to the left. Inhales again, legs lifting up. Now knees to chest. Give yourself a good hug. Congratulate yourself. Core stuff's over. It's always the hardest one. Let's take the feet down to the ground, right next to your hips. So the hands will come down to the floor. You can see that Leo can barely kind of touch her heels with her fingertips. That's usually a good alignment there to kind of follow. When she takes an inhale, she's going to tuck her tailbone, and then she'll lift the hips up towards the sky just a little bit. If she wants to interlace the fingers, she can always go there. If she wants to support her hips with her hands and kind of keep the elbows down, that can always, she can kind of lift it up a little bit higher. If you know and love your full wheel and you want to go into it, take your palms down beside your ears, and you can press them out away and lift the hips up towards the sky. Make sure you feel when you're going up, you're always going up higher on your exhalations. And this is a heart opener. It's not about how big can I do a back bend. This is how much can I get my heart center to open. And so feel the chest muscles softening when you exhale. And every exhale, that chest muscles soften around that heart. The heart will open up bigger. This is the way we connect to the people in our environment, moving around through our day, how we learn to just feel compassion, say hello to one another, and not feel like everyone's kind of in our way. And so we start with opening the heart, and you'll feel this change the rest of your day, change your evening, whatever it is you're practicing. It's always good to get the heart open. So feel that chest lift up in here, and then slowly lower one vertebrae at a time. It'll feel really nice to get a nice little even stretch with the back of your spine. Pull your knees into your chest. Sometimes we pull in, but try to keep your head and shoulders on the floor since you just did a lot of work to try to get that heart center to open up here. And then as you're here, we're going to take our right ankle on our left knee. And so just kind of, you're going to take that knee in there. And all we're going to do is kind of pull in with our left leg and kind of get a really good hip stretch. And you'll notice here the head and shoulders are still on the floor. So you're relaxing through the back. And you can feel this right hip really wake up. If you want to get a little bit extra into the stretch, you can actually take a hold of your foot and take the knee and press the knee a little bit away as you pull the foot towards you. That'll kind of help get the hip to kind of rotate a little bit if it's feeling kind of stiff, all right? Also, if you're really, really flexible, that's also another great way to kind of get a little extra inch without having to, put your leg behind your head or something, We always seem to kind of want to go into these really crazy intensifications. The thing is with our yoga poses, the variations, intensifications, they're unlimited to what you can do with the body. And so I always get a lot of my students get real addicted to wanting to get somewhere in all their poses. And I'm like, don't worry about getting anywhere. Just feel it, because it's going to go as far as you can take it. And you can watch any contortionist like at Cirque du Soleil or something like that, and that can show you how much the body can go to the next level. So you've got your whole lifetime to continue to practice and to take the body to the next step. So take your time. And then let your left leg come down. Bring your right knee into your chest. So let your left leg come all the way flat to the floor. And then hook your right toes behind your left knee, and we're just going to reach it out to the side. So you're going to twist over and feel this right arm reaching out here. Now, a lot of times we get this side body, this kind of shoulder kind of jacked up a little bit. So what we're going to do is kind of reach and get the shoulder to relax down first, and then we're going to explore the twist. We can let the head come down, that right ear come down, which will feel really nice, and just relax. Tell the core muscles to soften. You no longer need them right now. And the more you let them go, the more you'll get out of it. Nice job, guys. And then gently come around to your backs and bring your knee into your chest a little bit. And then take your left ankle onto your right thigh. So we'll just switch it up. And you can reach through and pull the knee in. If you have to lift up, no big deal. Just think about hanging loose first in the head and the shoulders. The foundation is the back right now, and we want to get that settled before we try to push and pull with our legs. If you want to get that little trick, I like to kind of take that foot and press it towards me, but push the knee away from me. When I'm doing pigeon pose, you'll feel a rotation in the hip joint, which is kind of nice. Getting a little rotation in the hip joint is really nice to heal like IT band issues that kind of go on the outside of the thighs and down to the knees. So just kind of feel it out. The thing is, though, hips, man, they're deep muscles. They go super far down into the hip, into our bones, and there's a lot of layers there. And so a lot of times we kind of start to get into these hips. It can be a little bit intimidating. Sometimes it's kind of scary. I've had students that have just busted out into tears. I've had someone laughing hysterically in class sometimes doing hip stretches. There's a lot of emotions that kind of get packed down there. And if you haven't moved in a long time, you're going to be going up and pulling up some stuff. So don't be, freaked out if you start to kind of feel some emotions kind of getting moved around when you're in this stretch or maybe after class today. It's real normal. And with that inhale, we're just going to bring our right leg straight out and flatten it down and bring the left knee into our chest and kind of hook it in a bit and tuck your left toes behind your knee and then drag that leg all the way across. And the left arm will reach out and the left shoulder will relax first, then we'll twist. So that protects it a little bit easier. And with your eyes closed, say core muscles, soften down. You're not needed anymore. The more they let go, you'll feel that lower lumbar just kind of loosen up a little bit more. And let's take it back to our spines again. Hug your knee a little bit in, and then release your legs all the way flat to the floor. So the palms, you might want to flip them up, but you might want to flip the palms down too. Don't worry about thinking too hard about it. Just go with your gut instinct. A lot of times you'll notice that you want to flip the palms up if maybe you've been a little bit introverted, like too introverted lately, and haven't been connecting with the outside world too much. And flipping the palms open can make you feel that, can get that energy to flow outward more. And so during meditation, you're just feeling in the gaps. So that's a gap. We flip the palms up. Sometimes, though, we're too connected and we're too social and we're too we don't have that quiet time for ourselves. So if you're feeling like you've had too much of that energy, flip the palms down and go and just sort of close the shutters down a little bit. Feel the flow of the inhale and the flow of the exhale. Try to empty every last air pocket out of your body and connect that very last end. How many times do you seriously pay attention to what your breathing is? Feel what it does to your mind, what it does to the head, to the body. You just explored how it stretches, how it opens, how it strengthens. Now how it keeps you focused. You probably spend the day looking at food labels, reading every single thing that's in stuff, just how much sugar or how many carbohydrates, how many fat grams, or whatever else is in it. Is it organic? Is it local? The truth is we can take about 7 full days without any food at all. I don't recommend it, but it's possible. We get obsessed with our water. Is it filtered? Is it coming from a plastic bottle? Is it coming in a glass bottle? Is it smart? Is it from Fiji and distant islands? You can take about 3 days without water too. You can take 2 minutes without breathing. You can stay here for as long as you want and finish meditating. You get up whenever you feel like it. Awesome job today. You did a great job when you stayed within the moment and you breathed, no matter what variation of poses you did. Go out and have an incredible day or incredible rest of your day, wherever you are. Thanks for joining us. Namaste.